Close your hands, palms together. Take the blessing from the God, Goddess, and all your bush. Once you feel you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay, today we are going to see the continuation of the Mars in the different bhavas. Before that, as usual, we do the every week practice. Today we'll see the daily Gocharam first, then we'll follow it with the random revision, then we'll getting into the class. Okay, as on today, October 27, Guru is in the Rishabha, Mangal is in the Karka, Ketu is in the Kanni, Rahu is in the Meena. Surya, Buddha, both together in the Tula, Shukra in the Vrakshaka, Sunny in the Kumbha, Chandra in the Simharasi. Okay. When the Chandra was in the Simharasi, the peoples who are having the Simhalagna, Simharasi, or the Simharasi will become the 6th house or 8th house or the 12th house, particularly 6th and 8th house. Very specifically, 8th house. Simharasi becomes the 8th house, or the Simharasi Simhalagna. All this combination people see there how their mind was transiting from one stage to another. Is that smooth, or it's that aggression was added into it? How your emotion was developed, or you are being in a saturated state. This is the wonderful way to see yourself. Okay, for that people's only. For other people's, every day is the good day. Okay, let's getting into the Pancham. Today is the Ekadasi, full night. Yoga Brahma, and the nakshatra is the Maha, followed by the Purva Kalpuni. Ravi is the Vara, and the Karana is the Bhavakarana, followed by the Balava. Paksha is the Krishna Paksha. Okay. Let's getting into the staring part. You have 2.5 minutes. Stare this slide as much as you can. Let me get into a slideshow. Yeah. First time starts now. Yeah.
Can't see clearly. Huh?
We can see.
5 more seconds. Okay, done. That's awesome. Let's getting into the random revision. Today we are going to see about the Sasa Yoga. You heard about the few weeks before, I guess, we discussed about the Ruchaka Yoga, right? When the Mars was in the Kendra house is particularly it becomes the own house or in the exalted house. If a own house or exalted house, that becomes the Kendra houses, 1, 4, or 7, 10. That becomes the Ruchaka Yoga for the Mars. Sasa Yoga for the Saturn. There are the Panch Mahapurusha Yogas. Panch Maha means, who are this Panch Mahapurusha? Anybody can answer? Are the
Panchamahabhuta, is it
Navagrahas,
related
right?
directly?
Sorry?
Is it related to directly Panchamahabhuta?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. Okay, I will give you the clue. Mars is for the fire, right? Exclude this sun and the moon, and also the shadow planets. Who are all the remaining things? Ragu and Ketu exclude that, sun and moon exclude that. So remaining two are they?
Mars.
Mangala, Buddha, Guru, Shukra.
The Guru, Shukra, and the Saturn.
Shani.
Yeah, these five are called as the Pancha Mahapurusha. So when these grahas, specific conditions was matched when they are in the Kendra houses, they called the Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga. So one, like Mars is called the Ruchaka Yoga, and Venus is called the Malavya Yoga, but now Sunny is called the Sasha Yoga. We'll, in the upcoming weeks, we'll see the other yogas as well. But for the Saturn, we'll concentrate only on the Saturn here. So one of the yoga for the Sunny is Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga, for Sunny is the Sasa Yoga. So the Sasa Yoga only come for the movable and the fixed rashis. That means Sara and Sthira Rasis, Sara, Sthira, Lagna Rasis only having the Sasa Yoga. If your Lagna was starting with the Upaya Rasi, that what are the Upaya Rasis? Anybody can? What are the dual nature Rasis? You remember that in the 12 Rasis, Tarastira Upayam, Sarastira Upayam, Sarastira Upayam.
Yeah, Mithuna, Kanya, Dhanu.
Yeah, the Karna Rasis are the Upaya Rasi. That means the dual in nature. So they won't have the Sasa Yoga. The people who born on the Lagna in the Sara Lagna or a Stri Lagna, they have the chances of having the Sasha Yoga. It's not a compulsory, they definitely will have it. But there are the chances, these people only have the Sasa Yoga chances. When it comes into the Sara Rasi, Mesha, Karka, Tuda, Magra, fixed Rasi is Rishabha, Sigma, Vrakshaka, Kumbha. So the dual Rasi is the Karna Rasis, Mithuna, Kanni, Danu, Meenam, they won't have the Sasha Yoga. Okay, for the Sasha Yoga, when the Tula and the Makar, for the Mesha, if the Tula or Magara, the Kendra only, there are a few conditions here. The Sunny should be in the Kendra, that means 1, 4, 7, 10. But these 1, 4, what is the condition? Okay, the Sunny should be in the Kendra, that is condition we understand easily. But there was an additional condition. This 1, 4, 7, 10 should be Sunny's own house or exalted house. Anybody can say what, where the Sunny will be exalted?
In Tula.
Own houses for the Sunny?
And
Makara and Kumbha.
Makara and the Kumbha. So these three rasis, when the Sunny was placed, and these houses becomes the 1, 4, 7, 10. That means the Kendra Rashis, when the Sunny was placed, and additionally, there is no malefic planet aspecting or associating with the malefic planets. It is.
Please mute everyone, Benito.
Okay, this is the easiest thing, right? When the Sunny was placed in the own house or exalted house, first thing. Then additional point was it should be in the Kendra. Then the third point is it should not be associated with any malefic planet. Then one question will come: Sunny itself a malefic planet. Then how come that association of the another malefic planet will become a not benefit. But when it comes into the Sasha Yoga, these three conditions have to be satisfied. It should be in the own or exalted houses, 1, 4, 7, 10 Kendra, any of the Kendra houses. And the third one is not associating with any of the malefic grahas. So once this
Vanita, why it is called Sasa Yoga? What is means Sasa means?
When the sun was when the sun's energy was in a very way, the consumed by the Jataka was you would say it's an not in a malefic energy. This sunny's energy will be very, very auspicious energy. Okay, for example, when the sunny was in a good position, usually sunny considered as a worker, right?
Yeah.
People, when they're going for a job, they definitely have to see the sunny graha as well.
Yeah.
When the person was having the Sasha Yoga, they become the owner. It's an opposite. Usually the sunny wants the Jataka have to be worker, but when the Sasha Yoga plays into that particular Jataka, he become the owner. This is the reversed position, right? You understand this? The Sunny's yoga will get completely consumed by the Jataka.
Okay. Thank you.
It gives a luck. Whatever you are doing, whichever the job you are performing, you become a owner of that, and you have the continuous luck, one after the luck, one after the another, the luck will comes, follows you. You won't be stagnant at any point. The money will flow enormously, particularly if these peoples are having the business from the raw materials, particularly from the raw materials, especially from the iron or the aluminum or the copper. These people flourish like anything.
Okay.
Or anything related, the job which is related with the Saturn, wastages, oil and gas, petroleum, cleaning gadgets, any of the thing which is relevant with the Saturn. If you started and you have the Sasa Yoga, you are not only the mere worker, you become a owner of that, and the money will flow tremendously. You won't even believe the 1 year back how you were, and after a year back how you were. It is a drastic difference you will feel when the Sasa Yoga will comes into your life. And the one question will come: when the Sasa Yoga will place, I born with the Sasa Yoga? No. Particularly it will becomes active when you have Sunny Buddhi Shani Dasa. When that was happening, the Sasa Yoga effect will be very high. Or when you have that Sunny Dasha or Sunny Buddhi will come, that this will be very much effective. And this is also one more chance. These people have the political victory also. Most of the time, they will reap more benefit from whatever the work they do. So their work, it gives the auspiciousness, because when you do the work, the Saturn becomes very much happy. Particularly when the people who are having the Lagna Sani, they have to work. They believe the work is their world, because the Saturn's energy have to be performed that much so that the Saturn's energy will be satisfied. The Saturn's energy will give you the perfect luck in your life. Okay, leave all these things simple. Sasa Yoga means one of the Pancha Mahapurushas, Sun is Yoga, Sasa Yoga. So 3 conditions. One is it should be in the own house or in the exalted house. One of in the Kendras, 1, 4, 7, 10, and it should not be associated with any of the malefic planets. Once this was done, then Sasa Yoga will place into your life.
Can you mute everyone? Vanita, can you please mute everyone?
Vanita,
Yes, I mute everybody. Yeah.
when you say it not be associated with the malefic planet, that means not in conjunction or not aspected, correct?
Both. No conjunction, no aspect. When that was happened, when the Sunny was placed alone, and particularly in the Kendra and in moon or exalted houses, because this condition will comes very rare. If you see 100 Jataka, 1 Jataka will, among the 100 itself, 1. In rare cases, the 1,000 possibly
Sitting with the benefit planet.
Sorry?
What if sitting with moon? Like moon is sometimes benefic and sometimes.
Yeah, that is also good. But when it should be in the full, when it should be in the Shukla Paksha moon, then it is good. If that was in among with the Buddha, also not good. Along when the Guru was aspecting, it is good. But when the Guru was aspecting, the story will be totally different because the Guru Shani combination will give you the different benefit altogether. So that's
Okay.
why it's a simple thing. There is no aspect, no combinations. Then this Asha Yoga will place in your life tremendously. But you may ask,
One
is
more
it
thing.
kind of this
Vanita,
possible? Yes, it is possible. Highly, highly possible. If you see the people who are particularly having the victory in the raw materials like iron, aluminum, copper, definitely they have this Asha Yoga, one way or the other. Someone
Vanita,
has
that means only this Sasya Yoga will come only when there is a Shani Dasha Shani Bhukti. Other bhuktis you won't affect. Then that is the conclusion. When a
no,
native has got
no, the
Shani Dasha,
Shani Dacha, Shani Buddhi. Okay, there is also when this will affect. I'm giving as an easiest example when there was when the Dasha Buddhi was happening. There is also the star stories will be there when the Saturn's stars Dasha Buddhi was happening. Then that is also this becomes effective. I'm not getting into that part. I don't want to confuse in that. But at the moment considered when Dasha Buddhi was happening, this effect will be really high.
okay.
Okay, we're moving into the next random division. We'll quickly finish this one. Eighth house law. We'll understand about the eighth house first. Okay. Forget about this chart one. I tried for different intention, but I placed it here. Okay, eighth house lord. What the eighth house will represent? It represents your unexpected rise or fall in the wealth. Also, your unexpected rise or fall in your health as well, your illness. You may feel like I was very good yesterday, but now I'm not feeling well. I'm becoming ill day by day. So there's kind of the sudden illness, sudden wealth, or sudden you become a losses in your business. It's come. You have to see from the eighth houses, accidents, injuries, everything which is happening in your life very suddenly. Accident you won't expect, right? Definitely. The injuries also you won't expect. Your
Longevity
lifespan.
also is there. Longevity also is there. Eighth house.
Yes, exactly. Your lifespan and the longevity, inheritance, and the insurance also. But the insurance is the quite tough too. But consider it as an insurance. Reason for the death. But you may understand reason for the death also you can derive from the eighth house. In what reason the death will come to you? When your prana is going to come out of your body, what it may cause? What is the reason of that your death? That is also you can derive from the eighth house. Your luck, foreign land travel, or living in the foreign land, both of them. Punishment, shame or insult, hidden things. When occult things, particularly when you're seeing in the prasanam, the peoples will, any of the things which is hidden, they try to see that in the eighth house as well. But the hidden things or hidden living means when they are escaped from the law, the peoples are living without knowing, without anybody was knowing about their living, without the knowing of their presence. That kind of the things is also we can know from the eighth house. Occult is the biggest thing. If the Jataka was having a chances of learning an occult, you can derive it from the eighth house. If the eighth house was strongly telling that this Jataka will definitely learn the occult, no one can change that, even the Jataka itself. Because that kind of the learning will coming into the Jataka. It's a divine gift, it's a divine thing. You won't resist even. And the longevity also. Okay, that's all about this week revision. Let's getting into our today's class.
Transformation and transformation.
What is it?
Eighth house is for transformation also.
Yes,
Like
yes. Yes. Oh, okay. Let's getting into the eighth house will give you so many things. There are the many information. But why we listed out seeing few things in our understanding. This all the things importantly you have to know. There are the many things the eighth house. There are the vast things you have to understand about the eighth house itself. At least you will see about the 16 pages or 16 pages you can read about the eighth house only. But up to this point, you don't need to understand. You don't need to just memorize everything. But remember all the things which you can remember for the eighth house. What I'm trying to say here was this is not only the list. There are many things. Okay, let's coming into the Mars. Mars, another name is the Mangala or the Guja. Representation, weapons, arms, surgery, defense, military, police, martial arts. All this comes under the Mars. If your Mars energy was good, you definitely will become a officer working in the military or the police or any kind of the defense system. You may occupy a great. You may also become a surgeon also. And particularly these peoples, when they have the great Mars energy, these are all the peoples who got the borders, who work for the nation, who defend the nation. They had a different mindset altogether. The peoples who didn't have the Mars, sufficient Mars energy, and the people who have the efficient and more than enough exalted Mars energy, their thought process was entirely different. And they feel like they want to defend the nation. They want to safeguard the nation. And definitely these people are working in that kind of the job itself, defense system, military, army, or they try to serve the people from the any kind of the injury. They become the surgeons and the martial arts. That kind of the energy, they drive them to do that kind of the jobs.
In which house is the Mars is best, Vanita? In which house Mars is the best?
Seeing one by one, right? Last week, what we saw, first house. We'll see that. We'll see about the all houses, 1 to 12 houses. We are going to see. And
no, I thought generally asked, best is this one.
We'll see that. We'll see that. That's a good question. We'll see that at the end of the 12 houses. I will ask you the same question and you tell me which is the best. Okay. Then the fiery temperament, the skill in the war, and most of the time, these people's strategy was really good when they are getting into the war, and the courageous was tremendously high. But there's also one more thing: when the Mars was not respected by the good planners, when it was not in a proper houses, good houses, the auspicious energy was reduced, but the Mars energy was really high. They become courageously with blind. They don't think anything. Their angry level is high. This courageous is also high, but that intellectual was not coming into the picture. They ended up into doing the wrong things. Okay, that's a side effect of the Mars. I wouldn't say side effect. This is another side of the Mars. Okay, let's see more about the Mars very quickly. Mars Moon's house is Mesha and Vrikshika, exalted in the Makara, depleted in the Karkarasi. Okay. The exaltation point is the 28, and the same thing goes for the debilitation point 28. And the Mesha is the male and the Vrikshika is the female. Next, it represents the head, Vrikshika represents the genital. And Mula Tripona itself the Mesha, 0 to 12 degree. Gender is the male, aspect 478, direction is south, directional strength is also south, malefic, yes, malefic, Adi Devata Prithvi, Pratyadi Devata Kshetrapala or Skanda. Elements is the Agni. Okay, here is a point of will come. Here is a question will come. In the Panchaputa, when you say that Navagraha is the Panchaputa, Mars is considered as the fire, and the Saturn is considered as the earth. But when you see about the Pratyadi Devata, when you heard about the story about the Mars, we considered the Mars belongs to the earth. So there should be a little bit confusion will come. Don't confuse or don't mix together too many topics altogether. When you see the Panchamaha Mars as the fire, Saturn is an earth, means leave it. That's it. If you come and see here, when is Mars, when we discuss about the Puja is coming from out of the earth. So whatever the land related problems, or you have to procure the lands, or you have to acquire the lands, that kind of the luck in your hand, you have to see the Mars as well. Okay. Pratyadi Devata is a Kshetrapala, Skanda element is an Agni. So what I'm trying to say here is, don't confuse with one topic with another. It's often come to me. Most of the time I confuse with one topic to the another. But at the end of the day, we'll have the clear vision. But don't waste the time like that, like me. Maturity age is the 28, Dhatu is the Maru, Grahan is the red lentil. Okay. That's quickly about the Mars. Mars relationship is the friend with the Sun, Moon, and the Jupiter. Neutral with the Venus and the Saturn. Enemy is the Mercury. Mars and the Mercury is the enemy. Okay, Nakshatra, 5th Marikashirisa, 14th Chitra, 23rd Dhanishta. Mars Dasha period is the 7 years. Okay, last week we saw about the Mars in the first house. When the Mars in the first house, Mars represents your Jataka, self itself. So when the Mars was placed in the first house, it's so good because these people are bold, courageous, aggressive, and adventurous. But that too, it was present in the Mesha Rasi itself. That was too good. These peoples become the Ruchaka Yoga will activate there itself. When the Mars was present in the Mesha Rasi itself, home house, and it's also in the Kendra, then Ruchaka Yoga will come into place. That is one of the Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga. Okay, let's come into here. And these people are definitely angry prone if they're not respected by the good planets. Possibility for injuries, carrying the body, and definitely there should be the health related, blood related disorders will come. Any questions?
Vinita, that Vrishika yoga, just show the screenshot, please, once.
Ruchaka Yoga?
Yeah, just if you can just show the screenshot one. Can you show the picture once? Sorry to trouble you.
This one or the Ruchaka Yoga? The last week?
Yes, please.
Last week one or this week one?
No, this one is over. The last one, please. Since that.
I guess you were asking about the last week, right?
Last week, yes. If it's handy, otherwise no problem.
Let's see. I don't think I have.
Okay, no problem. No problem,
Yeah.
Vinita. Thank you.
Okay, let's go into the exactly our class starts now. Okay, it's about the Mars and the second house. Okay, the Ruchika Yoga is also very simple. The same principles applies. 1 to 7, 10, it should be in the Moon Rasi or the exalted houses. It should be in the Kendra. These conditions when satisfied, then the Ruchika Yoga will comes into place. Okay, let's see about the Mars. Mars in the second house. When the Mars in the second, let's see about the second house. Anybody remember about the second house significance? What are the significance of the second house?
And it's a house for wealth, self-earned wealth, jewelry, things, inheritance.
Jewelry, what is that?
Inheritance.
Inheritance. Okay.
Early age speech.
Early age speech.
Family.
Family.
Family and basic some comforts also.
Okay. And the second house is also for the food and your nourishment. If the second house was, if the second house moon was placed in it, you see the people, these people are very foodie in nature. They try to taste the food. If that people say this food is good, means definitely it will be good. Okay, let's see into the second house. Mars in the second house. Says about the liquid assets. That means whatever the cash in your hand, what with the cash balance which you can ready to use, and the speech and the family, food and the nourishment. Okay, there are too much I couldn't even remember. How I can remember that? Easily remember about second house is for your family and the cash balance. Remember these 2 points. It's more than enough. Your family, and if you can able to remember easily, food and the cash balance. Once, what are the bank savings you have in your hand or the cash you have in your hand? What is the liquid assets means? You can the cash which is available to spend immediately. You don't need to take effort. It can be sent. You can convert that cash into anything. Okay. Remember these three things. Okay. Now getting into the Mars significance. When you remember about the Mars, what are the Mars significance will come? Courageous, bold, and any other thing. Remember about the Mars. What were the things which you remember about the Mars? Tell me.
Energy,
Okay, energy.
weapons,
What is it?
weapons,
Weapon.
gym,
Okay, gym. Okay.
blood,
Hmm?
blood,
Blood. Okay, blood. Any other thing? Okay. When you see about the Mars represents your land as well, younger siblings. I mean, if it was woman, husband, if it was for the men, the brothers. And it also says about the courage, boldness, and as you said, weapons. So many things comes under the Mars. Second house, you already know, family, food, and the liquid assets. So we are going to combine these together. Okay, are we going to combine these together only? For the first step, let's do that only. Then combined with the 12 rasis with the 5 element principles. Okay. Now let's going into the first combination is the Mars with the second house. Let's consider I have the Mesha Lagna. And my second house becomes the Rishabha. So here Mars was present. Before that, anybody was having the Mars in the second house? Anybody? No? Okay. Let's see about before seeing about the Mars in the second house, let's see about one thing. What are the aspects Mars was having? 4, 7, 8, right? When the Mars was in the Rishabha Rasi, what are the aspects is having? 4th. See the Simha, see the Vrakshaka, see the Dhanu. Yes or no? This is the 4th,
Yes.
this is 7, and this is 8. So that means when the Mars which is placed in the second house, which is going to see the 4th house, 7th house, and the 8th house. What is the 4th house will represent? Your happiness, your mother, your land property, whatever the things in your, whatever the property in your hand. And the 7th is about your spouse partners. And the 8th is represents about the accidents, injuries, your longevity, lifespan, whatever in about your hidden talents, hidden injuries.
Vanita. The 4th house, actually, it's 4th from Mars. From Lagna, it is the 5th house, 8th house, and the 9th house, right?
Mars aspect. Mars aspect.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's aspecting the 5th house, not the 4th house, Mars.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Fourth
Lagna
aspect.
is Mesha, right?
Exactly. You are correct. You are correct. Yeah, this is 5th house. Exactly. I'm sorry. Perfect. Very correct. My mistake here. Yeah. Okay. This 4th aspect, the 5th house. This is correct?
Yes.
Okay.
this would
This
be
is
8th
the
and 9th.
7th house aspect. This is
8th house.
This becomes 8th house and this becomes the 9th house. Yeah. Okay. And this is the 4th aspect. Okay. When the second Rishabha was Mars in the Rishabha, that means in the second house, it's either 5th house, 8th house, and the 9th house. Okay, this is awesome. You wait a second. Okay, then the 5th house, what are the 5th house will represent? 5th house about your progeny, and it tells about the love and affairs and your romance as well. 8th house, it represents about the injury and the hidden talents, occult, lifespan, longevity, etc. And the 9th house is going to tell about your dharma, whatever you are about your father, your gurus, and everything you can understand from the 9th house. Okay, when Mars was aspecting, so these 3 houses having the greater impact, then it's about when the Rishabha was in the 2nd house. Now let's move this Mars into the different scenario. Okay, now I move this Rishabha Lagna, and my 2nd house becomes the Mithuna. Okay, there are the few chances, few theories we have to see that first before we getting into the Mars in the 2nd house. Okay, now here Lagna is the Rishabha Lagna, 2nd house in the Mithuna. Okay, now again it is going to see the 4th aspect here, 7th aspect here, and the 8th aspect here. So from the Lagna, the Mars was in Rishabha Lagna, Mithuna is Mars in the Mithuna is a 2nd house. Now it is going to be see the 5th house, right? Yes or no? I'm correct only, right? 7th,
5,
No.
8, and 9.
5, 8,
Five,
and 9, same as before.
same. That's what I'm trying to say also. 5, 8, and 9. So the same thing. When the Lagna was varies among 12 rasis, it is again going to be aspect in the 5th house, 8th house, and the 9th. So it is going to have the impact on your progeny or in your injuries, accidents, or in your father's gurus or any of your dharma. So the Mars having its the aspect on these 3 houses. So let's moving into the move the Lagna to the various points. And the same principles apply till when the now I consider as the Mithuna Lagna. So the 2nd house Mars will here. Then again when the Mars was aspected 4th aspect here, 7th aspect here, 8th aspect here. Same thing, right? 5, 8, and 9. The same principle applies till the in all the 12 Rashis Lagnas itself. When the Mars was in the 2nd house, the same thing will come. So that means 5, 8, 9 will have an impact when the Mars in the 2nd house. Then other question will come. So my Mars was in the 1st house. I won't have an impact on other houses. Of course, you will. You will have that impact when the Mars was in the 1st house itself, wherever the aspect was happening. Now we are seeing the Mars in the 2nd house. So we are concentrating on only the Mars in the 2nd house. So this point is clear, right? When you have the Mars in the 2nd house in any of the 12 rasis, it is going to have an aspect of the 5, 8, 9. This is easy, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Vinita, I have
That-
Mars in 2nd house.
Mars in?
2nd house.
Oh, you have Mars in 2nd house. Okay. Which Lagna?
Taurus Lagna.
Taurus Lagna. Mars in the Mithuna, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Along with any planets?
No planets. 1 second.
No planets. And you have an aspect here.
No other planet.
Okay. And this is the 5th house. This is become 8th house. And this becomes 9th house. So the Mars having it's showing the influence on the 5th house, 8th house, and the 9th house. Let's have this 1 point aside. Now see this Jataka itself. You have any of the Jataka in your Lagna? Have any Graha in Lagna?
Moon.
Okay. Okay, now leave that the Lagna because we already know that she is such a beautiful woman. And moving into the Rishabha, Mars. So when the 2nd house Mars was there, it appears rude and crude because the Mars energy was really high. They're straightforward. Let's see this rude and crude later on, but they are very much straightforward. They won't be diplomatic in any of the speeches. But here we understand 1 point. But when Mars was now we apply the 5 elements principle. Now the Mars was sitting in the which house? Mercury's house. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, right? Mars and
Yes.
Mercury, friend or enemy?
Neutral,
Friend or
I
enemy?
think.
Enemies. Enemies.
Okay.
Enemy.
Now the Mars was sitting in the Mercury's house. What is the Mercury's energy will be? The Mercury very, very jolly in nature, very child. The entire behavior is like a child. And the Mars is not like that. The Mars is a courageous warrior. And when the Mars was sitting in the house, which is not relevant to it, it feels so much comfortable, discomfort, right? And that too, Mercury is his enemy. So he's living in his enemy's house. When the Mars was sitting in the Mercury's house, these people may not be that much rude and cruel. So they have the rudeness, but it won't be exhibit very often because of the Mercury's house. I'm not sure about who said this. Lagna and the second house Mars.
Vanita Nina.
Okay. How much your rudeness level on the scale of 0 to 1, 0 to 10?
I would call myself straightforward. I'm not
Yeah.
rude. I'm
Yeah.
straightforward. I say things which
When
people
I
don't
heard
like.
this,
But
yeah, that's totally possible. This rude and the crude will come. There are the different houses. You make it as an experiment and see when the second house Mars in the different in any of the different 12 rasis, and the rude and crude will really exhibit too much. Why? Because when the Mars was in the Mercury's house, this rudeness and the crudeness won't exhibit too much. But the straightforwardness will come no matter what. They will straightly come to that point and say, yes, this one only. They won't be diplomatic. But if you see, Mercury wants to be diplomatic. But when the Mars was placed in it, Mars won't be the diplomatic in nature. Mars exhibit its own nature. Okay, this is it, that's it. Heartless and merciless will come if any grahas was respecting the Mars.
1 minute, let me see. Vinita, fifth has Sun and Mercury.
Oh, fifth has Sun and Mercury. Oh, no, just aspect only. Don't worry about the other grahas. Any grahas was aspecting Mars. Like if you have any planets in the eighth house.
Eighth is 1 minute.
Or
No,
Guru was
nothing in eighth.
Okay. The heartlessness and the mercilessness means they have the own kind of rules in it. Consider a situation. There are the 100 peoples. The 100 peoples will among them the second house Mars will 10 peoples. Okay, the 90 peoples will see that was the merciless thing, but these 10 peoples won't see that as a merciless thing because that kind of the behavior it gives a tendency to work in the bravery zone. But this is also, it's up to the individual. We have to see the whole chart for to understand whether they are heartless or merciless to find out. But what here it was telling that is Mars energy will give you that kind of a tendency. Your vision will be entirely different among everybody. Some people will see it was the merciless job, and you won't see that as a merciless job. You see that as okay, it have to be done like this only. That the second house Mars will make you to speak, make you to act like that. This is not the merciless job. Okay, this is it. They move on into their life. Sometimes there is a high possibility the second house Mars may get misguided in the life. Misguided means anything any situations you face in your life, right? When different phases in your life, you may get misguided. Misguided means you may get misguided by others, misguided from yourself itself. The choices which you made, that is also misguided in your life. Okay, about the hoarding, hoards the wealth, these people are very much guarded. You can't able to snatch any single penny out of their hand. This is totally not possible. When you try to take one single penny from them, you have to face all the consequences. They got their wealth as much as possible. No one can do like that. So this is what second house Mars will make them to protect their wealth. You remember the Mars energy, the inbuilt energy is the protection. Mars was quality itself a protection. When it was placed in the wealth house, when it was placed in the wealth and the fame house, they try to protect their wealth. Nobody can touch it. If anybody can touch it, they definitely face the consequences. And the luck in all spheres means whenever the luck will come, whatever they do, whatever in which phases of their life, when the second house Mars will be there, then definitely luck will comes into their life. Okay, here comes the important thing. You can't beat, okay, the second house is also for the speech. Second house is, it's also for how you express. When the second house Mars was there, you try to argue with them, you feel like you are going to win, but end of the day you won. You won't, because they argues well, you can't even imagine. So these all the good people, good persons to become a lawyer. Okay. Nina, how is which of these points is matching with you? 100%. Explain this. You already said.
Vinita,
Straightforwardness is.
I'm very straightforward. People don't like it, but I'm like that only,
Mm,
And I'm not rude, but I say things which people don't like. I know it, and it's difficult for me to be diplomatic also.
mm, mm,
Heartless, merciless. I don't think so.
mm,
Misguided, yes, I agree to that.
mm.
Towards wealth, well, I don't like to spend or give away. Like I like to help people, but
Mm.
I don't like to help any. Like even the 10 rupees I give, I wanted to give it to somebody who needs it. I can't give it to just anybody. Like
In other words, I would say like that. You take the control of the money in your hand, right? Nobody,
yes,
nobody can. Okay, this is Nina's money. I'm going to take it because Nina won't protect it. Because now the second
yes.
house Mars makes you to protect if you are willing to give, because this is
Like
your
I
wish.
don't like to waste, but I like to, and I like to spend the money.
Mm,
Like make sure it goes in the right place somehow.
mm, yeah. And about
Okay,
the luck.
luck also, yes. I am lucky. Sometimes I feel I don't deserve it, but I get so many things. I am
Okay.
lucky. And yes, I argue well also. I think Mercury also helps me because somehow Mercury is in its own house. So I feel it helps me in my thinking and arguing and all that.
Okay. The Mercury is an intellect energy, and the Mars is giving you the courage. It was like fuel. Whatever you, even if you have the intellect, but you don't have enough courage in you won't speak. The Mars energy have to be exhibited fully, otherwise you won't speak. When the second
Okay.
house Mars will be there, nobody can win your argument.
I
There,
should
there
have
is,
taken a lawyer as a profession, but anyway.
yeah. Okay, this is about the second house.
Thank you, Vanita.
Okay, here we have to see about one thing. When you understand about the Mars and when the second house means the aspect 5, 8, and 9, and also see about which element, the five among the five element, which element combination was there. Okay, there was one interesting thing. Wait. Let's see about the same Rishabha and the Mithuna. Mars was here, and the aspect was the house, 8th house, and the 9th house. Okay, this is the dual in nature. This is dual in nature. And this is, what is this? Chara, movable.
Movable.
Yeah, movable. Okay, when you see this one, the two duals and the one movable, then you may ask, this is the combination which come for every 12 other rashis also. Let's see. Now see about the one more quick example. when the Mithuna was in the Mithuna Lagna, Mars in the Karka. Okay, this occupies the noble. And 1, 2, 3, 2. This is air element. This is okay. I will include the element principle as well. And this is again the noble. This one is 7. This one is 8. This is again movable. This is fixed. Okay. When you see this combination, let's see the Mars which is in that Rasi is the movable, and the 7th aspect is the movable, and the which is 4th aspect is also movable, and the last one, the 8th house is the 8th aspect is the fixed aspect. So that combination is also going to differ. And one more thing, the element. The Mars, which is in the 2nd house, is the water element. And when comes here, okay, the 4th aspect, the Tula Rasi, what is this element? Air element,
Air.
right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, what is this, the Makara Rasi element?
Earth.
Yeah. And this one?
Air.
Okay, so the element is also going to differ. And then important thing here. Now see about the owners. The owner which is in the Mars, which is when the Lagna was the Mithuna, Mars is in the 2nd house. Here the owner is the moon. And here the owners is the Venus. And here the owners is the Saturn.
Saturn.
So the owner is also going to differ. That means the aspecting Rashi's owner is also going to differ. The quality is also going to differ. That means the movable, fixed, and the dual is also going to differ. And the element which is also going to differ. When all these combinations you have to be keep in mind when you see the aspect of when the Mars was in the 2nd house, when it was aspecting. Remember all the things. See the quality, see the element principle, and what is the owners. Then you remember all this point all together. Okay, give me a second. Then remember all these points all together. Then apply whichever it is you feel it is relevant. Okay. Let's come to your judgment. When you practice more Jataka again and again, you will find out it will easily comes into your mind, fits into your thoughts. Okay, let's quickly see about the 3rd house, then we will finish the class. Okay. The 3rd house is mainly for your aim, ambition, courage, obviously for an art and the passion. Communication, the communication means it's a vast area. Communication means now, previously the people only communicate through the letters. Now we have the different kind of the communication. All kind of the media comes into picture. Any kind of the communication medium which you are using comes into this, the 3rd house. People living or working, that means your neighbors, your colleagues, all comes into the 3rd house. Okay. Now, when the Mars, what is a Mars means quality? It's bold and the courageous. And if the Mars was in the 3rd house means ambitious. Okay, one important point. Okay, let's see about this here. Mesha Lagna and the Mars was in the Mithuna. So before we seeing into the points, we'll see at the aspect as well. So we know about the Mars, we know about the 3rd house. Now see about the aspect. When the Mars was in the 3rd house, which are the aspect it is going to see? 4th aspect, and the 7th aspect, and the 8th aspect. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the 6th house, right? 1, 2, 3, 6. This is 9, and this is 10. So now we'll see when the Mars was in the 3rd house, it is going to give you the aspect of the 6, 9, and 10. The 3rd house Mars will have an impact on your job, will have an impact on your dharma, will have an impact on your karmas. So all together, we are going to see is the Mars in the 3rd house. So that gives you when the Mars was in the 3rd house, it gives you an ambitious energy, and these people are really ambitious. They when they decided they want to do, they will definitely will do. Ambitious and bold, courageous will come into the picture. And when the Mars was in the third house, when these peoples have the ambition in any phase of their life, they definitely achieve. Why? Because you have an energy when you consider the situation, I want to finish the 10 kilometers in 6 months of the training. Number of the people can decide. But when you have the Mars in the third house, you fixed your goal, you fixed your ambition. Okay, once again, when you fix your ambition, then that Mars energy will give you that kind of an energy to finish or to fulfill your goal. And these people are really well, and you can easily understand from them, your third house Mars was playing a biggest role. They're well built and nourished personalities. Okay, their adventure is the way of life. Okay, when here, when you see the people, they are doing the adventurous act every often. They definitely have a third house Mars, because if you didn't have a third house Mars energy, you won't even step into an adventurous act. They want to live the life like that only. Consider a situation when the third house Mars was there and ask them to sit in one place. They can't do it. They can't even sit for ideal life for at least even for a year. They can't do it. Because the blood was like that. The blood is warmed up and the Mars was giving them too much energy. How they can do it? That is totally not possible. When third house Mars was there, definitely luck favors them. Good support from his brothers and the friends. However, it is determined to younger. Okay, this is an important point. When the Mars was aspecting the third house, definitely there is a detriment to your younger brother, specifically younger brother, not your sister. Okay, then you will see what is the detriment. Means you may have a life. You may have that you have to spend expenses for your brother, or you have to take care of your brother. So that kind of the things will come. If that was not happening, consider a situation. You are not paying a loan to your brother. You are not spending any expense to your brother. Then that will come in. That means you are having a not good relationship with your brother. Okay, there's a two things will come. If you have maintaining a good relationship with your brother, then the other point is you have to make an expense to your brother on behalf of your brother. Whatever the brother you have to spend or have to be any of the expenses, you have to do that. When the Mars was in the third house. If you don't have a good relationship with your brother, then don't worry about this point. It won't come into your life, because once you have the good relationship, then this one you have to be taken care of. If you don't have a good relationship, you no need to take care of this. It's a kind of a balance. Okay, only for the younger brother. If you have a third house Mars, see and tell me whether that was possible. That's happening.
I have Mars in third. Mina Lagna.
Okay. Give me a second. You have a brother?
Older, yeah.
Older. No. We are expecting only younger brother to test and find this. Okay, let's see about Meena Lagna and the Mars in the third house. Mars in the Rishabha,
Yes, along with Shukra.
Mars and Venus together. Okay, you are bold, but you are grounded as well. Is that true?
I'm sorry, what other thing? I'm bold, yes.
But you are grounded. That means you won't take the steps blindfolded. You know
True, true. Yeah.
It was like you take an action, you measure the steps as well. Okay, consider a situation. You are going to attack a person. You know, okay, in five steps, I will definitely beat that person. You have that kind of the measurement in your mind, and you took that in action as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and you don't have an younger brother, so you are not. eligible for our experiment. Okay, how about this one? Well-built, nourished personality.
It's okay, normal built. Yeah.
Which
normal.
one is but exactly yes?
No, I mean, that point is that well built, whatever, that's normal, quite average to above average, probably, little bit.
Mm.
Adventure, yes.
Mm.
Luck, I'm not sure. Could be. I think it does, but I don't know.
Mm.
And yes, I do have support from older brother.
Mm.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Let's see about his other houses. 2, 3. How was your job?
Job was adventurous, very good.
Yeah. And how about your 10th house? This is which one is? 1 second.
Health is good, actually.
How about your dharma, karma, whatever the things which you want to achieve?
I think that is also excellent. Now I'm almost, I have jumped into that field right now after retirement. Yeah.
Okay, then this is awesome. Because you don't have an younger brother, you can't even see this. But if you have any of the people, any of the Jataka, whenever you see this, when the Mars was aspecting the 3rd house, it definitely determined which don't get scared about the word determined. Oh, this is not good. Determined to your younger brother means if you have a good relationship, then you have to spend expenses. If you don't have a good relationship with your brother, don't even bother about it. It won't have a greater impact. Okay. We'll quickly finish the post 4th house as well. If we have 5 minutes more. Is that okay?
Sure, Vinita.
Okay. Quickly finish that. Okay. 4th house is for represents our interest and ability, mostly the nurturing ability. That means you try to build the society. You try to give whatever in your hand to others. And the 4th house is also for the land, property, everything. When the Mars energy was in the 4th house, okay, 4th house is also your happiness. 4th house is also your mother and the land, property, and your interest and ability to nurturing others, building your social environment, all thing into your 4th house. Now, on top of it, Mars energy will comes into picture. Mars is having an ambitious, bold, and courageous energy. When that kind of an energy was in the 4th house, how it will be? Let's see about the Mars in the 4th house. Okay, now here, Mars was here. Mars in the 4th house. Okay, the 4th house Mars is not a good. Anybody have an idea why the 4th house Mars is not that much good?
Mars in Kataka is debilitated.
Okay, now I give you the different scenario. Wait a second. Now I have the Rishika Lagna. Mars in the Simha. This is the friend's house only. Even though this position is also not a good position for the Simha. Okay, the 4th house is the kind of the emotionally you are, and when you see the Kalapurusha chart, 4th house is the Karka Rasi. Karka is the owner is the moon. Moon is for your mind. When the 4th house represents your emotions, and when that 4th house Mars was present, when emotions was overwhelmed, okay, most of the time when the 4th house Mars was there, these people have a tendency to put forth their emotions in the first phase and their courage behind. When this layer was happening in any one of their life, the Mars feels its weakness. The Mars feels it can't able to move forward because the emotion was in front of me and I can't able to get rid of it. And I was behind it. My courage was not fully used. It was like that. The courage was not going to come out of it fully. Mars becomes more and more weak because the emotion was riding them. The Mars energy was behind it. So that's why the fourth house is not good for the Mars. This is in any of the chart, if you see, in among the 12 rashis, the fourth house Mars won't give you that kind of good vibes or good energy in your life. Okay, fourth house is also mother. Remember that. Dissatisfaction will come from the home front. What does it mean? When most of the time you feel like you may not feel like good family life in kind of the not family life in the dissatisfaction in the sense of the home, whichever the house, whichever the property you have, you feel like I'm not having that much. The satisfaction will come one way or then another. You feel like okay, the emotion will play the biggest role here in any of the fourth house significance. When the Mars was in the fourth house, the emotion will take over whichever the significance of the fourth house, even if it is for the land, even if it is for the property, your mother, whichever it is, the emotion comes into the front layer. They want Mars was having an energy of having one more energy called it destroying everything. But when the fourth house Mars will think like, I want to achieve the peace, I want to achieve the harmony, but this is not match for the Mars because that is why the Mars was in the weakest position. When the Mars was in the fourth house means they won't be able to compromise. They can't even able to compromise single thing in their life, even in their home, even in their office, wherever they are, wherever the people's around them also, they're not able to compromise in any aspect of their life. Okay, this is important. When the fourth house Mars means the mother's side support will be there will, in other words, there is no support from one mother. Or otherwise, there is in other words, you may be far away from your mother, or even though the mother was supporting, you may not able to get it, or the mother was not willing. Either one or the other way, you won't get your mother's help. Okay, then in one more thing also, even though if you try to get your mother's help, situation will come, you may not able to accept it, or you don't like it, or it will give more trouble to you. In simple words, how you can remember, there is no support from your mother's side. Okay, these all the bad things you can see from the fourth house Mars, but there was one important thing. Even though all the things which is against when the fourth house Mars to the Jataka, but these peoples are really, really well respected when they go outside. When they step out of their own home, every peoples will look after them in very respectful manner. Okay, this is the missing bus phenomenon for them. They feel like because of the dissatisfaction when the bus was on the time, but they also trying to reach. When the bus was moving, how you feel it, right? The same kind of feeling, the same kind of the dissatisfaction emotion will come when the Mars in the fourth house. So that's why this picture. If you didn't remember anything, okay, Mars in the fourth house, I can be able to remember only one point, Mars in the weakest position. Okay, then how I can remember that? When the Mars in the fourth house, it's a weakest position means the Mars was not able to use its all the energy to the Jataka. In other words, the Jataka was unable to consume the Mars energy because of the weakest position. So that's why the Mars won't give you them any of the happiness related to their home. Yeah, whatever the thing which is happening in their home, they won't get happy. They won't even get happiness from their home itself. When they go out of their home, they definitely feel respected. Okay. But this is about the fourth house Mars. But what you have to do the homework, when the fourth house Mars was there, this aspect will go for 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and the 7 and the 8. Okay, this is for the 8th house, right? This is 11th house. This is 10th house. So when correct? Looks like correct.
Yes.
When the Mars was in the
7,
fourth house,
10 and 11, Vanita.
7, yes, 7th. Okay. 7, yeah. 7. So when the Mars was in the fourth house, it's respecting your house for the 7th, house for the 10th and the 11th. That means fourth house Mars going to have an impact on your partners or your life partner, business partners, and the karma, and also about your luck. Any kind of the desires which you're going to fulfill, the Mars is also aspecting that house. So the Mars energy, okay. Here, interesting thing, when the fourth house Mars was there, consider these people have some kind of a desires in their life, or that even though when the Mars was fourth house was there, consider the luck was going to happening here. That there should be the fulfillment of desire was here. But because of the weakness of the Mars, they may not achieve it on time. They may have that kind of the luck, but it won't be coming to their life on time whenever they need it, whenever they feel like, okay, I need this kind of the luck in my life now, they may not get it. About their job, because of the Mars, if the energy was not good, they can face some kind of a problem while they opening a business or having partners with them if the Mars was not in a good position. So what they have to taken care of, they have to think thrice about having partners in the business. Whenever they are starting a business, definitely they have to see the Jataka completely, because the Mars energy was not good here. And whenever they are trying to procure a land, they definitely have to reach it again and again before buying a land itself. Okay. It's all about the fourth house Mars. Okay.
Vinita, I have a question.
Hmm.
This Moon and Mars conflict, like you were saying, more emotional, and then it suppresses the Mars energy. But this will be for Kalpurusha chart, no? But fourth house ruler may not be Moon. Then in that case also.
Okay, wait. Wait a second. Give me a second. Okay. First, consider the Kalapurusha chart. Imagine this is the Kalapurusha chart. In this Kalapurusha chart, Moon is the fourth house. Yes or no?
Correct. Yes.
So remember that point. So in the Kalapurusha's fourth house is the Moon, fourth house is the Karkarasi, and the is the Moon. Then simplified that. Fourth house owner is the Moon, and that represents the mind. Okay, then simplified one more layer. Fourth house means mind, according to the Kalapurusha chart. So here, mind means your emotions. So now take only one word. Okay, now comes into the Jatak. Okay, the Mesha Lagna. And okay, let's try not to confuse exactly as the Kalapurusha. Let's see about the Rishabha Lagna. Now the fourth house means here, right? The Mars was present here. So here we have to see about the fourth house is also representation of your emotions. Take that in the mind. That character is placed here. The Mars was in the fourth house means the Mars needs the energy. Okay, now consider the situation when you are getting into a war. Okay, okay, remember, let's have a very quick example. Everybody knows about it. When Arjuna was getting into the Kurukshetra war, he was like a Mars in the fourth house. It was like he was a courageous warrior. No one can compare against him. He knew how to fight. He knew how to strategize. He was a very good yogi. The yogi who can reach the Parameshwara in 12 years of the time, he can only do it. That kind of an yogi he is. So to reach the Parameshwara, that kind of the frequency, that to only the 12 years of the time, it's a short span of the time for the human. He has that kind of an mind control, that kind of an energy to reach the Parameshwara. So this is all the description of the Arjuna. So that kind of the person when he enters into the Kurukshetra war, he put the bow down and he getting into an emotion. The emotion was in front of him. He was like, I'm going to fight against my grandfather. I'm going to fight against my uncle. I'm going to fight against my guru. Every emotion is dancing in front of him. So he put his bows down. And in additionally, he had the charioteer who is a Krishna itself. But even the Krishna in front of him, his emotion was not able to control it. He was burning with emotion. It was like a fourth house Mars. That means when even the courageous warrior, when emotion is in front of them, he not able to step one step ahead. He was completely he was completely in an action of destroying himself. So what the action next did in the Kurukshetra for the Arjuna? He put the bow down and he was crying and he's seeking the advice. He's seeking the correct guidance from his guru. That there's a Krishna will give you the Bhagavad Gita, right? So that's what happening when the fourth house Mars was. The courageous energy, which is in the emotional layer, that's not the good position for the Mars. That's why I included the Kala Purusha's combination here. But no,
So we always have to keep the Kala Purusha key in our
yes,
mind.
in our mind. That's
Okay.
that's why we had the great practice for nearly a year for only seeing the Kala Purusha chart, right? That's a reason.
Yeah.
Kala Purusha have to be keep that in your mind, reduce into one word. So fourth, now we will see that when you see the Kala Purusha chart, the fourth house is the Karka Rasi, moon is the owner, and the fourth house is for the emotion. So moon is in mind, showing an emotions. Number of the words will come, right? But reduced into one word which is fit into your mind. Then whenever you see the Jataka, see that and see the Grahas as well. Then combine any of the stories which is relevant to you, which you make think of it often. See, for example, if somebody didn't even heard about the Mahabharata, they try to find example of Mars in the fourth house is the Arjuna in the Kurukshetra. They can't able to remember, right? But if you have that kind of the story in your own life or whichever the story you heard, then remember that, okay, Mars in the fourth house. You can easily remember.
Got it. Thank you. And one more question. Mars, you said, is husband or brother?
When you see the female Jataka, okay, Mars represents the husband for them. And brother also.
Isn't it Jupiter, husband?
What is that? Jupiter is also. So, okay.
Also, okay.
There is okay, I will tell you the difference when you're coming into the Jupiter as well. At this moment, consider when you see the female Jataka, you have to consider the Mars as the husband also. But when you see the Guru, I will tell you the difference. Okay.
And one more thing, Vanita, second house in that chart is saying jewelry and third house is saying ornaments. So what is the difference?
Jewelry. Okay. Jewelry ornaments. Really?
I think maybe you can just see it and we can study that next time. Yeah. See, second house has jewelry and third house has ornaments.
Oh, I don't know the difference. Okay, how I can differentiate the second house and third house, up to me, I will tell you this. I don't know why I included the ornaments now. I will check that later. But how I can differentiate that second house and the third house? Second house, most of the time, my mind goes into the wealth related stuffs. Whichever you can make the money out of it. Like if you will sell the jewelry, you definitely will make money out of it. So all things which is relevant with the wealth, considered as the second house. When it comes into the third house, it's a kind of an art and passion. It's not relevant with the wealth. See, you create a paint, you decorate any of the ornaments, you may wear it, but that cannot be considered into cash balance in your hand. That may not be the wealth. You hang the picture, you hang the very decorated painting that cost of 29,000 or cost of 1 lakh, whichever it is. It was on the wall of your wall on your own house. That it's a kind of decorating your own home. It's an art for your home, but it is not a wealth of your home. So if
Okay.
it is a wealth, it's a second house. It is an art, it goes to the third house.
Thank you. Ma'am.
Is that easy to differentiate?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, awesome. We'll see you all next week then.
Thank you so much. Vanessa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you.